What in the name of the 12 is going on, guys? Seahawks Martin coming at you here for the second episode of Emerald City Sports, the podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be talking about the Seahawks 2022 schedule. It was released last Thursday, Friday or so. The leak's coming out early, of course, which we've kind of gotten used to because social media sure loves to spoil things. We're gonna jump through. We're gonna check out all the dates, all the matchups, give a little analysis on them, and see if maybe a little early prediction to see if we win or lose. I'm joined as usual with the owner, the man who started Emerald City Sports, as this podcast is a branch of his channel. Ladies and gentlemen, Joshua Ngo again. Josh, what's up? You ready to talk about the schedule?
Yep, let's go.
All right, let's start off with a banger, ladies and gentlemen. Monday Night Football in Lumen Field against Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos. The Russell Wilson revenge game, the one we've been all waiting for. I mean, tickets, if you just check Ticketmaster, it is literally like $400 for a 300 section level seat. That's how crazy, that's how important this game is. And obviously, Lumen Field is going to make so much money off of this game, even if Seattle gets their butts whooped. Obviously, this game is just going to revolve around Russell Wilson, Pete Carroll, their history together. It's like Brady and Belichick from last year. Um, but I feel like, man, Denver is something else. With now that Russell Wilson's here, their offense is just crazy. You got Javonte Williams, Cortland Sutton, Jerry Judy, who did get arrested, but I believe he's not going to get suspended. And then that O line is sure something. We're gonna probably have a hard time um rushing the QB, especially with the elusiveness of Russell. Josh, what do you think about this game? It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, as you said, they had a pretty good wide receiver core. Jerry Judy, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, who's been also pretty good fantasy option as well. Just saying, side note. Um, but we also got one of their very good defensive players in Shelby Harris, who led the Broncos in sacks last season. And he also probably had a lot of practice playing against that really good offensive line. Um, Russell Wilson coming back, he hasn't even, it's the first game of the season, so he hasn't even gone to play in Mile High Stadium. And I think it'll just feel like a normal Seahawk game to him, just he's in a different uniform. Um, Personally, prediction of this game, I think Broncos are probably going to pull off a win on that. Seahawks just starting fresh, and they haven't had a lot of time to build chemistry with whoever the quarterback's going to be when the season starts in September.
Hey, let me ask you something, Josh. Let's say we go to the Seahawks game. Would you boo Russell Wilson or would you cheer him on? Like personally, I would cheer him on because they're probably gonna show this video package of him, like Russ, like starting off with when he got drafted, then ending with his final touchdown with the Seahawks. They'll probably be like, "Thank you, Russ," and he runs out of the tunnel. I feel like at that moment I would cheer him, but once that game starts, I will boo the living crap out of him because, I mean, the fact that rumors have come out that he's like checked out of the season, he didn't have a good relationship, he wanted more money, he wanted better players, he wanted to control the Seahawks in his way. Um, for that reason, I think I will boo him. I know some people out there will cheer, some will boo, some will be like Norcam at golf clap, but um, I would cheer him to start off because that's an emotional moment. I would be like, "Thank you, Russ, for all you've done for us," but like, you're an opponent now, so I will boo you just like I boo the rest of them. How would you react, Josh?
Yeah, like you, I would cheer for him just to be polite, like after that video package, because booing him would be pretty weird. Just because we had him in one our only Super Bowl with him. But yeah, during the game, I mean, he's now a Bronco now, and Seahawks just come first over players. I agree that we should boo him throughout the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think the boos will be pretty loud. And if we win that game, oh man, Lumen Field would go crazy. All right. The next game we've got is against our rivals, the San Francisco 49ers. Now, their QB problem, I mean, it sure is something. Is it Trey Lance or is it Jimmy Garoppolo? I guess we'll find out. There have been trade rumors about Jimmy Garoppolo going on like this entire offseason. Well, so if it's Jimmy Garoppolo, I mean, I think our defense could handle him. As for Trey Lance, that could be a little harder since we've never really fully played him. He played one half last year, but that's pretty much it. And our defense has a new scheme and everything. We've got to kind of get used to it. Other than that, their offense is pretty good. Of course, you got Debo Samuel, who I think is going to give Sidney Jones a really hard time. George Kittle is going to be a boss out there. But I think that even in our darkest times, even when we're playing our worst football, we'll still find a way to beat the San Francisco 49ers. If we have a losing record this season, all I care about is sweeping the Niners. That'd be the best thing. Just to like rub it into the Niners' faces would be awesome. Josh, what do you think about the Niners? Their team is pretty good, but we'll see. Anything could happen.
Yeah, anything can happen. But I think Jimmy Garoppolo is probably going to be the QB at the start of the season. Even though there's trade rumors, they're already starting in off-season programs. And I feel like it might be a little too late to trade Garoppolo now. Maybe next year, probably when the draft is coming up. They have really good wide receivers, but an okay running back, so they would probably have to pass a lot. In their defense, they gave up the fourth most yards per game last season. So we can target that, and I think we'll probably get a sweep.
Oh boy. Um, honestly, I just hope that we win this game. It would be fine to start off like 1-1 or even 2-0. I'd be really happy with 2-0. But 0-2, we always and what's funny is that we always start 0. It's almost like we always start 0-2 or 1-1. We can never the Seahawks can never get to a good start. Well, the next game though is against the Atlanta Falcons. Um, I want to talk about their defense. Their defense sure is something. Oh my gosh. They got Grady Jarrett, Deion Jones, and their cornerbacks. Their cornerbacks, AJ Terrell and Casey Hayward Jr. Oh man. Um, uh, that would be a really good matchup. Lockett and Metcalf versus Hayward and Terrell. That's going to be really something to keep your eye on in that game. But that defense is really going to give Drew Lock or Geno. It doesn't even matter if it's Drew Lock or Geno Smith. Either way, that defense is going to give them a hard time. And as long as if our defense can keep up, then I guess it'd be okay. But if our defense also gives up points, this could end up being a really big stinker for Seattle.
Yeah, but I like their defense. It's packed, but their offense is a little bad. They only really have Kyle Pitts and their wide receiver core of Drake London. Yes, he's a good rookie drafted. Olamide Zacchaeus and Brian Edward. Not really good notable names. And then Corl Patterson, their running back, only 4 yards per rushing attempt, had to split time with, I think it's Todd Gurley, right?
I believe it was
Uh,
Todd Gurley, yes.
and then their quarterback is just Marcus Mariota, who's just been on and off as a backup with the Raiders. So their offense has been a little wonky, which I think our defense can handle with new additions like Shelby Harris. So at home, think it's going to be an easy win.
Oh wow, all right. I mean, if Marcus Mariota really plays bad, we might end up having to see Desmond Ritter in this game, which I mean, I wouldn't mind. He's a rookie who looks like a 40-year-old, honestly, but um we'll see. I mean, either way, I think this will be an ugly game because it's two under average teams. This game is definitely not getting any national coverage. Next, we go to the Motor City and play the Detroit Lions. Honestly, okay, this game we have to. If we can't win any other game, we have to at least beat the Lions. Can we? Like, Jared Goff is their QB. Jared Goff. Look, we lost to him in the wild card, but that was when he had what? Cooper Cup and Robert Woods with him. He doesn't even have that many talent here. I mean, other than DJ Chark, DeAndre Swift. I cannot believe I just said Swift. Swift. But that's pretty much it. I guess the only thing we kind of have to worry about is their defense with second pick Aiden Hutchinson. They have Michael Brockers in there now, and Jeff Okuda is pretty good too. Um, I think the only thing we have to worry about is their defense. If we can just keep going with that run first, ground and pound, and play action type of offense, I think we'll be fine. We have to win this game. It's the Lions. The Lions are a poverty franchise. If we can't beat the Lions, I already know like 50% of the Seahawks fans still remaining are gonna jump off because if I'm being honest, Seahawks fans aren't loyal. That's why you haven't seen that many ticket sales. If you saw the last few games of the season, the seats were like they seem to be almost empty up until the Jaguars game. The seats were filled, and then after Russell got injured, after we started our downhill slide, the seats were just like 75%. That just proved how much that unloyal Seahawks fans were. And honestly, those types of Seahawks fans, I don't like hearing their complaints. I go on Instagram every day. I see some Seahawks post, and then all I see of the fans in the comments be like, "Oh, I wish we had a QB. Oh, I wish we had this. Oh, I wish we had that." Like, stop complaining. We are in a rebuild. Give Pete Carroll, give John Schneider a chance. I bet they will turn this thing around. Now, that might sound unpopular with a lot of you guys, but that's my opinion. I feel like we got to be grateful for those 10 years of um success that we've had. And this one season isn't going to do anything. It's a rebuild. We are going to be bad. That's the point of a rebuild. We're starting over, we're starting fresh. Just be happy we had those 9, 10 years that we were good, okay? And a Super Bowl victory. Just be grateful for that. Don't go walking around like a spoiled brat and being like, "Oh, I want this. Oh, I want that. I want more." Um, so I mean, if we lose to the Detroit Lions, I know so many of them are gonna be like, "Oh, I hate being a Seahawks fan. I'm done." Stick with them through and through. Be a real fan, and eventually things will get a lot better. After that, though, we go to New Orleans. Josh, I'm gonna let you take this one because I pretty much stole all your talk in the Lions one. Sorry about my rant.
Yeah, I just want to mention real quick about the Lions is that they re-signed most of their 2021 3 13 and 1 team with re-signed 13 players. And really, they haven't even done much in the offseason either, only drafting Aiden Hutchinson. And they're pretty much, in my opinion, the best offseason pickup they had was DJ Chark from the Jaguars. But he missed most of the 2021 season with a fractured ankle. So just bad team. And let's just move on to the Saints. Oh my gosh, their wide receiver core, Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, and then they draft a wide receiver in the first round with Chris Olave to just pile it on our kind of terrible defense. And even their defense is pretty good as well. Sixth least yards given up per game by that stellar defense. And we're going to New Orleans. It does not look like a good game for us. But if there's some sign that we could pull it off, it could be that the chemistry between whoever's our QB uh, is able to develop very quickly at that point.
Another thing I'd like to point out is that the Seahawks have a bad history of losing in New Orleans. It always seems like every time we go to New Orleans, something bad happens. We'll lose, and I wouldn't be surprised if we lose here because we always have trouble playing in New Orleans. It's just kind of weird. Next thing you know, we are going home against Arizona. This one is gonna be a stinker. I already know. Josh and I, we went to the Cardinals game last year at home, and we came in with the feeling that, oh no, we're playing the Cardinals at home. This is not gonna end well because it never ends well when we play the Cardinals at home. And I already know this one's gonna be a stinker. We're probably gonna lose by like 10, 20 or so because we always have trouble with Arizona at home. And then it's vice versa too. Arizona always has trouble with Seattle at home. We're probably gonna lose this one, and I mean, Kyler Murray, though, that guy might be pretty darn overrated in my opinion, though. He did good in the regular season last year, but then when it came to the playoffs, oh man, he pulled a stinker out of his pocket. As for the rest of the offense, I guess pretty good. James Conner, Marquise Brown, AJ Green. You got Zach Ertz in there too. He does have a lot of weapons to throw to, but Kyler Murray just seems like he's turning into a diva, doesn't he?
Yeah. Um, they don't since it's in week 6 and DeAndre Hopkins is suspended for 6 weeks. That'll be the last game where they won't have Hopkins. They still have a pretty good wide receiver core, as you've said, and a pretty good running back too. I feel like the only chance of hope we have is if we can rush Kyle Murray. Last year, Kyle Murray had 12 fumbles and kept on losing the ball. If we can, though, if we continue the trend in the past about 2 years, Cardinals have gone hot in the beginning of the season, but have gone pretty cold in at the end of the season. So this does not look like a good game.
It's an understatement, Josh. They've gone freezing the last like half of the season. Yeah, we are really lucky that DeAndre Hopkins it isn't gonna be on the field for that game. But we still got to worry about Marquise. We still got to worry about AJ. We still got to worry about Zach Ertz. And then that defense too. Come on, JJ Watt, Isaiah Simmons, Byron Murphy, Buda Baker. Shout out Huskies, by the way. Um, that defense is just gonna give Drew Lock or Geno Smith a really hard time. Next, we go to SoFi Stadium, but it's not against the Rams. This time, it's against the young up and coming Chargers. Honestly, the Chargers are the dark horse to win the AFC West this year. I mean, that young team sure is something. You got a great QB who is gonna do really well in the next few years to come. You got Justin Herbert in there, Austin Eckler consistent, Keenan Allen really consistent, Mike Williams on and off but pretty good. And then yeah, they have Gerald Everett, the former Seahawk, and everyone else is just at least they're doing something for the team. I mean, you got Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack on defense, which is once again going to give Drew Lock and Geno Smith a hard time. I think Seattle will have a lot of trouble in this game because I mean it's the Chargers. They are one of the young bright spots in the NFL, and they're going to be a monstrous force for the years to come.
Yeah, pretty stacked defense, as you said. And their offensive line is pretty good, having Rashawn Slater last year, a really good first round pick. I don't know how we can really break a hole into it. They have really good players on both sides of the ball. Like Khalil Mack coming to the team for cheap was like very surprised me a lot, and it just improved this team that just barely missed the playoffs the last 2 seasons. I just don't know how we could beat them with this. Just this Seahawks squad is just a big, really big question mark, and we just don't know how this will play out at all. I could just pick this one as an upset, and really, it could be true just depending on what happens to our team. Do we collapse or do we just turn into the Chiefs?
Yeah, I mean, it might end up coming down to the really big plays. Next, we have the New York Giants at home. The last time we played the New York Giants at home, that was a very forgettable game. One of the most disappointing outings. And that was the game that screwed us over from being the number one seed, right? I believe so.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that one was a big stinker. I hope that doesn't happen again. I mean, you got Daniel Jones at quarterback for the Giants. There is no way you can lose to Daniel Jones, right? I mean, you got Saquon, but Saquon is very injury prone. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets somehow injured again this game. Um, that O line is okay, I guess, and but that defense is it could get some improvement. I mean, they did get Kayvon Thibodeau, so that's a big thing. But I mean, I feel like we should be able to pull out a victory against New York. They're New York. They did really bad last year, so I mean, even with Drew Lock or Geno Smith, we should be able to pull this one off, especially if our defense can play really good.
Yeah, this is a pretty overrated offense, something we can attack with our defense. And then just notable names other than Thibodeau, who still has to adjust to this level. Really, the only big good thing that we know of is just their special teams with kicker Graham Gunnell.
Yeah. All right. Next, we head down to Arizona again to play the Cardinals. Um, the only thing I have to say about this one is I just hope no big injury happens. We have a really bad history of having injuries on this field. This is why I hate playing at State Farm Stadium because someone notable will always end up getting injured. 2017, you had Sherman Chancellor. The whole Legion of Boom was injured on this field, and that's how they all left to Seattle. Sherman, Cam in 2017, Earl in 2018, the whole Legion of Boom disintegrated right in there in Arizona. And then let's just not talk about the Super Bowl because we all know about that. Just State Farm Stadium, it gives us good luck when we always play Arizona because it always seems like we beat them, but it also gives us bad luck when it comes to like big moments, and then we always end up with a bad injury. We'll probably beat them here because the away team almost always wins when it's Arizona versus Seattle. I wouldn't be surprised if we pull out a win here, luckily. But hopefully we just don't. I just hope we go away with no injuries.
Yeah, I agree with that. As well that just the away team always wins what during this series. So probably Seahawks are gonna win. And also this game is probably gonna be used after this. We're probably gonna go to Germany next week against the Buccaneers. I feel like Seahawks are probably gonna be preparing for that more. This Cardinals team is pretty stacked, and I think we'll be able to pull off the win there.
Yep, you're right. After this, we head to Germany. Um, that was I'm gonna probably get canceled for that. Oh my gosh. To face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think the best thing about this is probably that Seattle has a big fan base in Germany, but that's the best part. The fact that we're playing the GOAT, Tom Brady, and he's got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and that defense has Vita Vea, Joe Tryon, Devin White, Levante David, Shaq Barrett. Oh my God, this is gonna be a manslaughter in Germany. This is not gonna end well. But I mean, the best part is probably the fact that we have so many fans, and I mean, kudos to the NFL for expanding throughout the world. You've already gotten to England. You've already gotten to Toronto back in the early 2010s. You've been to Mexico. It's great that they're moving even farther. Germany. Who knows? They could be playing games in Asia in a few years. And I think the thing that annoys me the most is the fact that Seattle fans in Seattle will have to wake up at 6:30 just to watch this game. Like, I guess the NFL just doesn't care about Seattle because I mean, it's easy for Tampa Bay fans because they're over there in the East Coast. They get to wake up at 9:30 like they usually do, probably. But over here, we're waking up at 6 o'clock, brushing our teeth, making breakfast, and then we wake up at 6:30. The next day, Josh and I are probably gonna wake up at 6:30 to watch this, and the next day when we go to school, we're probably gonna fall asleep at first period because there is no way that we're gonna be awake enough because we decided we'd be diehard and wake up at 6 a.m. just to watch the Seahawks. Um, Josh, what do you think about this game? It's probably not gonna end well.
Yeah, I think I'll just probably watch this game for just to experience the Seahawks playing internationally in Germany. I mean, last time we did, I think it was about 3 years ago against the Raiders. We won that. But Tom Brady's undefeated in internationals games. I think so are we as well, but I can't confirm that.
I believe we
Um,
are, yeah, but
I
we
think
don't
yeah,
have Russell anymore, so this is a whole different thing.
yeah. I think probably just to see how many Seahawks fans actually show up or are in Germany as well. But yeah, easy manslaughter.
Yeah, I think the best part is definitely going to be where they cut to the camera to the fans, and we're going to see a bunch of blue and green. That's the best part because it just shows that we have 12s all over the world. And these aren't the bandwagon 12s either. These are real 12s. They're sticking with it because once again, we're in a bad rough spot right now. Just the fact that we will probably see Seahawks fans there. That's probably going to be the best part of the whole game. All right. After that, we go back home and we play the Las Vegas Raiders. Ooh, man, that AFC West sure is something. Oh my god. All of them actually all have a shot at contending for that AFC West title. They all have amazing teams. Honestly, I would not be surprised if we go 0 for 4 against the entire AFC West. They got Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs. They got Oh my gosh. Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfro. Man, our cornerbacks are gonna get destroyed. As much as I like Sidney Jones, I don't think he can handle Devontae Adams or Hunter Renfro. This week, you fantasy owners who have Devontae Adams and Hunter Renfro, you should probably start them. And then don't forget Darren Waller too. That offense is gonna probably torch our defense, and then their defense is also really good. They got Max Crosby. Um, that's all I can think of. Max Crosby. Maybe our offense will survive a little, but it's still not gonna end well. The fact that that offense is crazy, it's probably gonna be a shootout, but Raiders will probably pull out on top. That offense just is something else. Oh my gosh. That's just how the Raiders have a chance and win the AFC West. If that offense just continues to play like a bunch of fireworks, they will do really well this year.
Yeah, I agree. Pretty big, pretty good offense. Yeah. Just side note, any fantasy owners wanting to play Darren Waller, as he's been a very consistent fantasy option, in like 5 years, as well as Travis Kelsey. He's probably gonna lose reps as well with Devontae Adams. Just probably gonna take be wide open and taking a lot of reps from Carr. And personally, I think Raiders are gonna pull this one off at home as well.
All right. After that, we go to LA for our very first game against the Rams. Um, the first time we're gonna play with Bobby Wagner, I just know he's gonna go off this game because this is the team that released him without even telling him that he got released. Like, okay, whoever was in charge of telling Bobby Wagner that he was gonna be released, it was probably Peter or John. What were you thinking? You just made Bobby. Bobby's gonna go off. He's gonna get like 20 tackles, 5 sacks, and like 2 interceptions because that's how mad he was that they didn't even tell him that he got released. Like if they told him personally, it wouldn't be that bad. But man, Bobby's gonna take this personal, and it's gonna be horrible. I mean, even with Bobby Wagner, that Rams team is crazy. The defending Super Bowl champs. Don't forget, they're the defending Super Bowl champs. Matthew Stafford, Cam Akers, Cooper Cup, Van Jefferson, Allen Robinson, Tyler Higbee. That O line is as hard as a rock. And then their why do we even need to talk about their defense? Their defense is crazy. Aaron Donald leading the charge. You got Bobby Wagner there now. Jalen Ramsey, Taylor Rapp, Troy Hill, Jordan Fuller. It's gonna be a man's. I won't be surprised if this is like a recreation of the 2017 game where we lost 42-7 and all the fans left at halftime. This is gonna be like that. Seattle's gonna face a lot of manslaughters this year. This is not gonna end well in SoFi. It's gonna be absolute domination.
Yeah. Uh, as well as the Bobby Wagner revenge game. It's week 13, so it's going to be a prime game for the Rams to probably move up the seeds to try to get a good playoff position. And our wide receivers probably can't do anything. Their two safeties, as you mentioned, Taylor Rapp and Jordan Fuller. Rapp, 94 tackles and 4 interceptions, while Jordan Fuller also having over 100 tackles, 113 total tackles. Yeah, they're probably going to lock down our wide receivers, and that's it. Can't get anybody going. And I feel like I keep on saying this for every game, but it's just going to get screwed over every single week, man. It's just sad.
Well, that's what the fans have to deal with in a rebuild. It's normal. I mean, Cleveland Browns fans, just please tell us how you guys got through the rebuild, but I think we'll be fine. It's a rebuild. I mean, just remember that it's just a game. It's just football. It's no big deal. This is not your life. Um, that probably that comment probably is gonna hurt a lot of
It's
diehards,
not my life yet. I don't know. Don't quote
but
me.
I'm being brutally honest here. It's still just a game. It's still just something that we watch when we have free time. So I won't take this season too hard. And then like 5 months later, I'm gonna start ranting about how bad we are, forgetting that this is a rebuild. All right, next game is at home against Carolina. Mm. I think the only thing we have to worry about here is probably Christian McCaffrey, but who knows? Christian McCaffrey's made out of glass. He's probably going to get injured. And then, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore, but that's it. Their QB is Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, like he started off hot the first 3 games of the year, and then he just fell off a cliff. Um, and then I guess another thing we have to worry about is their defense. Their linebackers are pretty good. So I guess those they're only small things we have to worry about. Other than that, as long as we play consistent and our wide receivers go off, I think we'll be fine.
Yeah, this seems like a very winnable game. Uh, as there isn't really much options. We don't have to defend. I probably Christian McCaffrey's probably gonna drop off or get injured by now. Week 14, yeah, pretty late in the season. Um, and just there's really nothing to worry about. No really big defensive names except maybe Xavier Woods and maybe J.C. Horn, but it's something we can deal with. And these just look like two pretty average teams. So yes, there's if by that season we just horrible are really horrible, just like collapse, then looks like an easy win for the Panthers. But this could be a
Who
50-50
knows?
game.
Yeah. All right. After that, off to Arrowhead Stadium on Christmas Eve. I think the best thing about this is that it's in the morning, so like we can all wake up and be like, "It's Christmas Eve. Turn on the Seahawks game." It's on Saturday too.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just realized I have youth group on Saturday morning. I'm not gonna get to watch this game. This is great. I'll probably just turn on Yahoo Sports and just watch it in the middle of my classes because I used to do that all the time. With like, I'll just turn on the radio, listen to Steve Rabel. I do that all the time. I know that's how die hard of a fan I am. I love to brag about it. Kansas City on Christmas Eve probably going to be in really cold weather because it's Kansas. Now the Kansas City offense, they lost Tyreek Hill, but I mean their wide receiving core is still pretty good. And don't forget, there's Travis Kelsey. So the wide receiver core is Juju, Mecole Hardman, Marquez Valdes Scantling, MVS. It's not that bad. I mean, Kansas City will probably still be fine because it's Seattle. Um, and that defense, I mean, as long as that Chiefs defense doesn't collapse, then they'll be fine. But the Chiefs defense has at times been inconsistent, so hopefully we can catch them on those times where like they are really inconsistent and be lucky. And I don't know how we could get out of this game with a win, but miracles happen.
Yeah, I think this could be a miracle upset. Running back Clyde Edwards Hilaire has been okay throughout the season. A little more of an on and off. I like that the game isn't on Christmas Day because then I have to watch it when actually probably be, be good on Christmas Day because I have a reason to watch it rather than
Have to
yeah.
like tell you like your aunts and uncles be like, "Oh my gosh, Josh, you've grown
Yes.
so tall." Oh my gosh, I wouldn't mind watching it on like Christmas Day or something because I could just be with my cousins. We just start ranting about the game because we'd be like, "Oh my god, all this, all this, all this." I don't know. It's fun watching with my family because like we just rant about a bunch of stuff. It's hilarious, but at least it's on Christmas Eve, and also you got to feel for the players too. Um, doing playing on Christmas Day for NFL players, I would feel really bad for them because they don't get to spend time with their family and everything. It kind of sucks. Like that with Thanksgiving too. Um, I mean, Quandre Diggs literally showed it because in the Seahawks fake schedule release prank, um, it just showed how much players will probably hate playing on Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's why I feel like it's unlucky to be drafted to like Detroit or Dallas because you don't get to spend Thanksgiving with your family. Um, so I mean, luckily it's on Christmas Eve morning, so they can probably get the flight home at night, and then they'll be with their family for Christmas morning. That's good.
You know the
All
Quandary
right.
Diggs thing was fake, right?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But I mean, the way he sold it just kind of shows how
Hmm.
every NFL player would react if they had to play on like a holiday where they want to spend time with their family.
Yeah.
All right. The next game at home against the New York Jets. I swear, if we lose this game, then all the Seahawks fans will probably jump off. But I mean, we're gonna win this game, aren't we? Like it's the Jets. Even our current Seahawks team can't be as bad as the Jets. Zach Wilson, he did not do good last year. I mean, they have Brees Hall, which I guess is pretty good, but other than that, everything else is just a question mark. And the Jets really have a long way to go. They want to get back to being a force in the AFC. They still have a long way to go, and I don't think this year they're going to be as good as they ever were. This game should be a good win, an easy win, a heartwarming win because like how many wins can we ever get this year? Just savor this moment if we win.
Yeah. They have a couple of former Seahawks, DJ Reed and George Fant, and there's just no real star players you can name. Zach Wilson probably being the only person any like an average NFL fan can name. Um, and this should be an easy win for the Seahawks, though. I just don't want to be a pessimist, but I don't know if anyone noticed, but feel like every year we have a near end of season upset.
Yeah, that would make sense. I think the only thing I'll worry about this is Braxton Berrios, the kick returner, because he is pretty darn dangerous. But I think our special teams is probably the best unit we had last year. So I think our special teams will be able to take care of him. But be on the lookout for Braxton Berrios because that guy can be really dangerous. All right, the last game of the season, week 18, the Bobby Wagner comeback game. Isn't it cool how like the first game of our home opener is against Russell Wilson, then our home closer is against Bobby Wagner. Once again, Bobby's gonna go off, but this time I think that I'm gonna cheer for him no matter what because he didn't check out of the season like Russell did. He didn't want as much power like Russell did. He 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 left, I guess, not on good terms, but like he left as a person that Seattle still loved. Like we love Russell Wilson, but like the fact that he, checked out of the season, the fact that he wanted all that power, it kind of made a dent in the relationship between the fans and Russell. But with Bobby, I mean, all everything he's done for Seattle, the fact that he's never really complained about anything is gonna give him a bunch of cheers. They're probably gonna play a video package of him when he comes out. The cheers will be loud, and even when he gets on the field, even when he makes a tackle, I think there will be cheers for him because he didn't really have a dent in his relationship with the 12s. As for the game, I mean, what do I have to say? It's the Rams. We're gonna lose, but it's okay. At least Bobby Wagner's back in Seattle.
Yeah, I'm going to disagree. I think they will be able to actually pull a win week
Oh my God,
18
Josh.
at home for one simple reason. They have a pretty good team that's good enough that they'll rest their players. So it will be.
Oh, you got a point there, Josh. I didn't think about that because I mean, it depends on if the Rams are really fighting for that number one spot. If they've already secured it, they're definitely gonna rest their players. But if they're like, someone like the number two, number three seed, and it's like the number one seed still up there, they're definitely gonna put their starters in. I would love to see Bobby Wagner playing Lumen in a Rams uniform. Honestly, I wouldn't even mind seeing him make 20 tackles, 5 sacks and stuff because he deserves it. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame the second he's done with his career. He's a legend, a legend. That's all I got to say. He's a legend. So yeah, I mean, it would be funny if like they just put in their bench, but I think they'll probably put Buags in there for like one play, just so everyone give him a standing ovation. But that's only if the Rams have already secured the number one spot. If not, and it's up for grabs, they're definitely gonna put a manslaughter on us. up
I
until
think there's
maybe
gonna
like
be a way though. I think even if they put their stars in, I think we can pull off a Week 18 win, just like we did last year against the Cardinals. I think we can do it.
I like your optimism, Josh. Well, that's our season, folks. I mean, it's probably not gonna go great, but just be happy we have football. Honestly, just be glad that football's coming back really soon, and we're gonna have 18 weeks of ups and downs, but mostly downs. But it's okay. We're all in this together. It's gonna be a season that we'll probably forget. But hey, if we win the Super Bowl in the next 5 years, this season will be the one where we say this is where we planted the seeds for a great decade or 20 years or something. So yep, that's our season. We gave it a rundown. We'll probably give our predictions in like August or something once the final rosters come out. But for now, that's your schedule. That's our analysis. And that's episode 2 of Emerald City Sports, the podcast. Thank you for listening. You can find us on Spotify, on YouTube, and eventually on other podcast sites too. But thanks for listening. I'll see you guys. We'll see you guys later. And go Hawks, go Mariners, go Sounders, go all Seattle sports teams.